Hello and welcome to It's Your Business with Mario Toneguzzi on Megapix Media. Joining me today is Larry Wood, who is a senior instructor at the Haskayne School of Business at the University of Calgary, who recently was honored with the FP Canada's Donald J. Johnston Lifetime Achievement Award, only the ninth person to ever achieve this. Thanks for joining us today, Larry.
My pleasure to be here.
Tell me, first of all, Larry, just a little bit about your thoughts on gaining that award in the financial planning world.
Well, it did take me a lifetime, so the name is very appropriate. It is a great honor. I actually had the great pleasure of meeting Donald Johnson a couple of times. He was the first president of FP Canada and very important in his role in bringing the Certified Financial Planner designation to Canada from the US. So he worked diligently at it. I have great admiration for him. So to win an award named after him is truly a great honor.
Okay, how long have you been in this industry?
I started in the mid 80s, and then by then the designation only came from the US. So I had to take my courses by distance in the US. Then I had a course in U.S. taxation, and I decided I've had enough of this. So I stopped and got involved in trying to help when the course was migrating to Canada, and we were getting to set our own exams. So I actually got my designation in 99, so it took a while. But it took a while again for the designation to migrate up to Canada too. So that wasn't all my delay. But,
what was for you, Larry, what was the appeal for this kind of career? Like, what motivated you to get involved in this area?
I was actually at I'm an academic here at the University of Calgary, and normally we do corporate finance. We're a corporate finance school, or traditionally were. And so I was at a conference in Denver, and at that academic conference, there was a panel subcommittee that I think 5 of us attended. And it was about, in the U.S., trying to make financial planning a profession, trying to take it out of the dark commission sales oriented image it had and say, no, let's try and make it a profession. And so that's where they started. And that really tweaked my interest. I thought, well, why just in the U.S.? We should be doing the same in Canada. Let's try and make this something that consumers can be confident that they're getting good and unbiased information. So I was excited by the challenge of taking something at a novice level and turning it into a true profession.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned that, has the industry worked hard over the years to sort of negate that negative image that's been out there of financial planners, financial advisors, et cetera?
Very much so. FP Canada, which used to be FPSC, Financial Planning Standards Council. They rebranded as FP Canada just a couple of years ago. And as the body that governs the certification of the CFP certification in Canada, they have been working diligently, lobbying government to try and get some legislation saying that in order to call yourself a financial planner, you should have some credentials. We didn't make it exclusively the CFP. That wasn't our objective. But our objective is currently in Canada, anyone can call themselves a financial planner. Mm. So you just don't know what education they have, or are they governed by a code of ethics and things like that. So the CFP designation does have a code of ethics, does have a rigorous education program, a qualifying or certifying exam. So very similar to most other professional designations. In the CA, we were kind of modeled on the old CA, now the CPA.
Yeah.
And we lobbied government to try and legislate. And so far, all that's been successful is the province of Quebec, and I believe recently the province of Saskatchewan has legislated who can call themselves a financial planner.
Oh, okay.
So we still have a road to go, but I think that people are more aware of what a CFP certified financial planner is. And the big thing is we're trying to move the consumer from looking at it as a product-based salesperson to someone who does comprehensive planning for you. So they're not just there selling a product. The product is a plan, in all honesty. And you want to go to a CFP because they know how to cover all aspects of planning, not just portfolio management, which is what the brokerage industry used to focus on, right? Mm-hmm. So I do believe consumers are more aware of that now, that they need a comprehensive plan rather than just little components of a plan.
Okay. What do you teach at U of C, by the way?
I teach has taught corporate finance for a very long time. And then I did manage to get our program recognized as progress towards the CFP. So we do have 3 courses in personal finance, one for non-business majors, so for the university as a whole, one for our Bachelor of Commerce students, and one for our MBA students. So I teach those, I introduced those 3 courses, I wrote those 3 courses, and I'm the only one who's ever taught them for a long time now. But I also recently created a course in corporate governance.
Okay.
Very, very topical, and as you know, ethics are a big issue now, even in the corporate side of business. So the course is Ethics and Corporate Governance.
Okay, super then. Now, one last thing, Larry, I wanted to ask you about, I recently was speaking to somebody about financial literacy, and it's Financial Literacy Month, I believe, right now, and the poor level, I guess, of knowledge that Canadians, on average, have when it comes to their finances and finances in general. Can you talk a little bit about that? And do you agree that, with that? And if so, like, what can be done to improve the literacy of Canadians when it comes to financial stuff?
The first big issue is defining financial literacy. What does financial literacy mean? I was again at a conference in Washington, D.C., and they were struggling with this, and this was several years ago. And some people thought financial literacy means numeracy, the ability to understand the math of finance.
Yeah.
The reality is it's so much more than that. You could do very well understanding your finances even if you were terrible at math, because there's so much more to it. So if you look at financial literacy from the idea that a consumer needs to have the knowledge to make aware decisions and hence avoid things like Ponzi schemes and other frauds, right? We're making good headway. The federal government struck a financial literacy committee several years ago, and they have published some literature that's free, some website videos that are also free, just to make consumers more aware. And to me, if we can make consumers more aware of the actions they need to take to get control of their finances, that would be a big step in what I would call financial literacy. And again, it's a big concern. Canadians are not financially literate. Any test that we throw out to the great population tends to come back and we realize they really don't understand it. In fairness, though, in these tough economic times, people are so busy earning their money, they don't have a lot of time to manage it.
True. Yeah.
So only 2 ways to get that knowledge is you either go get it yourself or you hire it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I have a question for you as an educator. I'm wondering about whether or not we should be teaching children at a much younger age about financial stuff. Like, I take myself as an example, right? I go through high school, go through university, get into the real world, and then boom, all this stuff takes place, right? And even to the point of buying a car, and then God forbid the nightmare of learning how to buy a house and mortgages and all that stuff, right? If you haven't learned any of that stuff beforehand. So do you think a lot of this kind of day-to-day stuff that people are hit with once they turn 23 or so and go out into the real world should be taught at a much earlier age to people?
Absolutely. They used to have a course in the public school called lifestyle learning or some general topic like that. And I've guest lectured for them a couple of times on the topic of personal finance. The problem is, I must admit, this was the same for me. At that young age, you just don't see a need to know that, right?
Yeah.
you go, and I got lots of time to worry about that. So it's difficult to motivate the younger generation to want to learn about personal finance. They think, that's something their parents will take care of. They don't have to worry about it. So, it's the style of delivery I think we need to adjust. Not so much the content, but the style. If we could get more into the online videos, more gaming type atmosphere to engage the student, then I think we would succeed. But absolutely, these topics are not rocket science. So there's something, a grade 11 or 12 student could easily grasp onto. Now at the university level, we have introduced courses, right? They're second year courses. So the students are, 20, 21. And I do talk about mortgages, and I do talk about student debt. That's a big issue for students.
Yeah.
So we are introducing that, but it's a long road to hoe. As you know, universities don't move fast.
Yeah.
So to move the tanker in the direction of personal planning takes a bit of time. But in all fairness to the university, they're embracing it now. So it will come, I hope. And I hope when they review curriculum for K to 12, they start looking at, when they're teaching math, there's no reason they couldn't use personal financial planning examples, right? In to teach basic math.
True. Yeah.
And that would certainly help. But yeah, the earlier we could get them engaged, the more secure they'll be in their knowledge when they actually need to have it.
Okay, super then. We're great. I appreciate your time in helping this, Larry.
Oh, pleasure was entirely mine. Anything to promote financial planning.
Okay, super. That was Larry Wood, who is a senior instructor at the Haskayne School of Business at the University of Calgary. This has been It's Your Business with Mario Toneguzzi on Megapix Media. Thanks for joining us today.